corporations, and would they be willing to reveal at least the type of technology that they have available, and seek to find commercialized vehicles in the United States or within Japan, really to bring out those sleeping technologies?
I think there's a possibility. I mean, I'm not sure if you know. I think it can be done. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Whether all companies will be willing to do so, that's a different issue. But I think Japanese companies also have to think of the fact that these technologies have a limited lifespan.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They become stale after a few years. So, I think many Japanese companies are thinking starting to think along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
But they still tend to hoard some of the technology, which we have to try to change the perception.
Yeah, I think large American corporations that have this kind of sleeping technology are becoming more aggressive, more risk-taking in trying to commercialize them in one way or another. And that may be an area of exploration. Any other questions? Ambassador Roos, any thoughts after hearing the panel and your experiences in Tokyo?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts. How many would you want? Well, I guess just a couple of things. First of all, in my experience in working with companies from all over the world, and particularly Israel, India, and China, what happened in those countries is a lot of their entrepreneurs came to the United States, as you were talking about, either for school or starting companies. A lot of them, for example, in Israel, they had their R&D development in Israel with the parent company in the United States, where the senior management and marketing and sales would be located, and then the technological R&D in Israel. That was a model that worked great for that country, and ultimately, and I've seen this in both India and China as well, companies start over here an ultimate migration back to their home countries, where they've learned from the Silicon Valley the model, and then go back. And I don't know if there would be any kind of incentive program, whatever, to get Japanese entrepreneurs to come to the United States, start their company here, get funded here, maybe have an R&D component in Japan, and that way kind of get used to the modeling that works in the ecosystem. But that's one thought that I've had. The other thing is, and again, I don't know if this is realistic, with respect to these sleeping technologies and the Japanese corporations, whether the Japanese government can create incentives, tax incentives, or otherwise, for the corporations to spin off technology that is not of strategic use, part of their strategic plan. But they're just not going to spin it off or go out and find joint ventures. There needs to be some kind of incentive in order to get them to do that. The third thing that we're actually working on in the embassy is to showcase role models in Japan of success stories. And there are success stories. Rakuten is one that are fast retail, and interestingly, some of those are now requiring that that their employees speak English as part of their globalization effort. But to find ways to showcase the success stories in Japan, to provide the role models, and perhaps do that, show how other countries have done it as well. And one of the things we're doing right now is we're discussing with different networks in Japan, to find someone that might be interested in running a series with the idea of role modeling. But those are just some random thoughts.
Good. I wonder, since bringing the young Japanese graduate student or entrepreneur to the United States is such a life-changing experience. Whether there could be some incentive for industrial associations in Japan to provide scholarships, for example, for competitive competition scholarships. Lots of really good people applying to come and study and work in the United States. Maybe an internship program in some of the companies here, the dynamic companies, let's say Google, or Google's gotten too big, but some other type of companies where they could really develop networks and experiences in entrepreneurship in the United States.